Hello there, welcome to Genesis Models. My name is Bob Waldron and welcome to another inbox review video. This inbox review is going to be of this beauty just here. This is Revell's 1/48 scale Tornado F.3 ADV. Now this kit is only around about £22.50, and that's from E-Models, but shop around. Also, it was new tooled in 2017, so we've got pretty much a brand spanking new tool. And it is pretty damn cheap, and looking at all the plastic, it looks like we're going to get a pretty good deal. But let's just jump straight in with what the surface detail looks on this kit. So let's just zoom you right in, and as always I've gone off and I've done the usual, did a nice bit of wash on here just to show you the detail. Ignore sort of like the edges because I didn't really do it properly there, but if we look here, I mean, it is pretty well detailed. We've got lovely rivets going on there, lovely recessed panel lines, and it is well detailed, hopefully, as you can see just there. However, I did go off and do another section of the surface detail just to show you there is a few little areas to consider here. I'll just sort of show you. Again, this part we did, and it looks really nice again, but if we look over here, there is actually supposed to be recessed panel lines right here. They're actually so faded it's a little hard to pick them up on camera, that really you're going to need to go off and rescribe some of these areas. Now these are really badly faded, so I mean they're going to be a bit tricky. You're going to have to do a proper rescribing there, but some areas might just need a little bit of a touch up, which aren't so hard when you've already got recessed panel lines there. But there's one or two areas. Also, to start noting a few things about this kit, our air intakes, we do have nicely no ejector pin marks inside here, which is rather good to see, and all sorts of bits going on. Again, coming back to this one, more sort of surface detail and everything. But moving along, I'm just going to jump straight into the canopy because there is a little area to note just here. Now it is looking really sort of nice and clear and pretty sort of crisp, but we bring you to the main canopy here, and you might already notice a little bit of a haze at the top here, which is probably down to rubbing in the box. Maybe, you know, it only came in this little plastic bag. Not only that, I haven't really seen this very often. It is quite rare, but you'll notice we've got these three little almost bubbles, right, and we've got them just here as well. You can see them quite clearly. They're quite in your face, in the same position again here as well. Now I have tried feeling for these, and I'm not feeling anything on the surface, no holes or anything. Maybe on the inside it is a little bit hard to feel, but it feels like there's maybe a slight little hole there. But we've got some sort of nastiness going on there, and that is basically kind of pretty much unrepairable. It is a bit of a pain, it is a bit of a shame. I mean, things like this can ruin a kit, but in saying that, we could, because it's so close to these sort of beams that are in here, you could sort of mask it up so the masking tape just goes that little bit further. Okay, it's a little bit not what you want to do, but if you mask up that little bit further, you can basically hide them. Although again, it's not ideal. I would probably mask it that little sort of a little bit mill across and make it look like a beam just to cover them up. So potentially not too bad, but yeah, it could have been better. Then we have just a couple of screws here. We've got two bags exactly the same as this, so I'll just put that out the way. Got some fuel tanks just here. We've got what we've got here. We've got the ejector seats and a few little odds and sods, which, you know, we've got the seat belts actually molded onto the seats just here, hopefully, as you can just see there. Loads of lovely detail actually, and quite intricate on the sides of our ejector seats and all that kind of good stuff. So, you know, nicely well detailed there. We got some I do believe they're Sparrow missiles just here, as well as some more fuel tanks, sidewinders, all sorts of bits. A little bit of a note here, we got the exhaust, right, and you might sort of notice, yes, there is a little bit of flash going on with this kit, just here and there, you know, just a little bit to sort of take care of. Kind of typical of Revell to have a bit of flash and whatnot. Then we have some more sprues just here, some pylons, no big deal. Again, I'm trying a new format here where I'm not sort of showing absolutely everything, just kind of speeding things up. Bottom part of the fuselage, lovely detail like everything else. We do have an instrument display panel just there, which is showing you dials and buttons and stuff, you know, not bad on the detail. Then we have our last couple of big sprues just here where we have the wing section, right, hopefully as you can just see there. We do have the cockpit tub. Again, we've got all our lovely little dials and stuff and little pedals going on in there, all sorts of buttons and all sorts of good stuff going on inside there. I do believe these are the air brakes. We've got a bit of detail going on inside there also. Got another instrument display panel here also, again same sort of level of detail. Turn this over, on our air brakes, on the inside of our air brakes we've got some nice detail on there, some faint, shall we say faint sort of ejector pin mark just there, but doesn't look that bad at all really. And then we have another sprue here with a bit of the tail section going on, some fans looking nice and detailed there. Another instrument display panel, again same lovely level of detail. Let's flip this over. We do have some minor detail in our wheel wells just here, and there are ejector pin marks hiding just in the corners there. You might not be able to see them just there. And apart from that, we've got a bit of landing gear detail as well. That's not looking too bad either. So that's basically all of the sprues, which then brings us to the instructions. So here are our instructions, which is rather nice how they do a really nice finished tornado here, which has been professionally done by the looks of it, looking rather good. Nice good quality paper, all nice and colour, which is, you know, really sort of showing off some nice quality just here. Moving through the instructions, and there is quite a bit to these instructions, there is quite a lot to follow and get your sort of head round, but you know, it is nicely in colour. We do have all sorts of colours and showing off the colours. We've got all sorts of, you know, showing where the cockpit detail goes, where things need to be drilled. Moving along, we do have our air intakes just here, which they sort of come together quite nicely, but then they do connect up with our cockpit section. Hopefully as you can see here, the cockpit section is going to be one of those things where you build it and then you bring the fuselage together, as you can see just there. And then we do have a lot of detail going on with the wings, to be honest with you. We've got this nice little system here where we put this piece just inside the wing, which allows the pylons to turn as well. We've got all sorts of being able to have the wings, you know, moving as well, which is always a good one. But to be totally honest, it does look like there is a lot of pieces coming together. You know, we've got these sidewalls here. I'm assuming we're going to have, like, you know, potential fit issues and everything. The air intakes, normally these kind of aircraft type shapes, you do get like fit issues just here as well. But there is a lot of this kind of piecing it together. I do find when you bring, you know, two pieces of sort of surface detail together, it doesn't always look like the rest of the surface. You've got to be sort of test fitting, maybe filling, sanding, scribing those areas, and seems to be a lot with this one, because as you can see, we bring in the top part of the fuselage section there. We've got this little bit just here for the wing section. That could be a potential problem. Again, you know, I haven't built this. I'm just kind of going on experience where, you know, these kind of the way them fitting together can have potential problems, but they might not have them. Engine exhaust looks like it's going to look quite good on there. Moving along, what else do we have? We can have all sorts of tails, flaps, ailerons, all sorts of moving parts. In fact, it looks like there's going to be a lot of detail for like your slats and your flaps as well. Again, these are all your flaps here. Again, as you can see, there's lots of detail to add these in the open or closed position. We've got that engine section here where that opens up as well. That's going to look well detailed if you go for that. Air brakes up or down, you know, loads of sort of moving parts and loads of things open, closed, loads of options with this, which is rather good. Moving along again, yes, you know, landing gear up or down, pretty sort of standard. Moving along, it looks like we've got some nice detail as well for the canopy as well. Some nice sort of detail underneath the canopy if you want to open it up, that kind of cool stuff. Moving along some more, again, you know, okay. So that's what is going on. If you remember the canopy, we got these sort of little holes on the inside, which is kind of showing through onto the clear part. That's because they've put holes there for these mirrors that you can just see here. And that's had sort of like a bit of a reaction to kind of see through and stuff. I don't know, maybe you could paint it black on the inside, maybe. Just you're gonna have to sort of get creative to sort of make that look good, because it has sort of shown through the clear part, sadly. Then we've got a bunch of weapons, and then we've got markings. It's got some lovely markings here from the 111 Squadron, nice tail bit going on there, as well as the number 23 Squadron as well, with a nice tail section there. So two nice types. I haven't looked, but I presume you're going to be able to go out there and find all sorts of markings from all sorts of different squadrons, and make the ones you want to make, which is rather cool. And then you've got the weapons all nicely laid out, showing you the colours and where all the decals go, which then brings us to the decals. I'm not sure if these are by Cartograph. Normally they are from Revell, right, but they don't normally sort of advertise it. But as you can see, absolutely gorgeous decals here, looking really good. They've got like a nice matte finish. They don't feel too thick. They should, if they are Cartograph, fit absolutely gorgeously. Looking nicely in registry, we can sort of see some nice tiny writing going on there. We do also have the instrument display panels and everything as well. You know, we've got some nice detail going in there, so we could sort of I normally sort of cut out the dials and just decal them on and then paint the rest, but it's kind of up to you. But I'm sure there's probably aftermarket parts with photo etch and resin out there to even spice it up even more. So all in all, do you know what, for about £22.50 from E-Models, there's a lot of plastic here. It's a bargain, basically. The surface detail is good, it is there, but there's one or two places, as I've shown you, where you kind of need to sort it out. There's a couple of ejector pin marks to potentially sort out. There's a little bit of flash, but it's not that bad. The fit, I'm not sure about the fit, but I think there's going to be some areas, in all honesty. But apart from that, I mean, at £22.50 you cannot grumble at the amount of plastic you get, and it does look like a really cool kit. And let's face it, I have looked into a lot of Tornadoes in 1/48 scale out there. I do believe Atelier does one, and it's absolute rubbish. Hobby Boss does one, and I think there was something about a shape issue and whatnot. So I mean, it is, you know, nice to see a nice new Tornado come out by Revell. So big thumbs up, and hopefully you're going to enjoy building it as much as I want to build it. I am really seriously thinking about doing this one as a step-by-step. But with all that said, hopefully you've enjoyed. So until next time, as always, my name's Bobby Waldron, this is Jonas Models, and I'll catch you later.